Hi guys, welcome to today's screencast. So we're looking at the values of the respiratory system. So lung volumes, their resting values, the relationships between the resting values and what happens to them during exercise. But for the screencast alone, we're just going to be looking at the resting values. Okay, so this is what your Cornell Notes should look like. First of all, we've got our key topic is values, and we've got breathing frequency, tidal volume, minute ventilation, and methods of calculating the above. So don't forget your key questions have to refer to these topics and make sure that they're actually utilised, and you develop some good questions for these. So a typical exam question you may be asked is this top one, D1. Okay, so an athlete has a tidal volume of 0.5 litres and a breathing frequency of 12 breaths per minute. Calculate the athlete's minute ventilation using these values. Show your workings. Hopefully by the end of today's screencast you're going to be able to do that, and you're going to understand what minute ventilation is, what tidal volume is, and what breathing frequency is. So lung volumes, we're looking at the relationship between and the resting values for the following. Now make sure before we actually talk, the focus is on the units of measurements that we're actually going to use. Okay, so we're looking at breathing frequency, tidal volume, minute ventilation, as I said, methods of calculating the above here. And the effect of differing intensity of exercise and recovery on these three, we're going to be looking at in lesson. So for today's screencast, we're just focusing on these top bullet points here. Right, okay, so breathing frequency, what is it? It's the number of breaths taken per minute. The average value for this is 12 breaths per minute. That is for an untrained athlete, okay? So breathing frequency, how many times we breathe in a minute. That's what we need to get down for that. Okay, so tidal volume. Now we have to look back or think back to the heart when we do this, very similar to stroke volume. Okay, so tidal volume is a volume of air inspired or expired per breath. Remember, it's per breath, so the volume of air, the amount of air we inspire per breath, or you can say expire per breath. And then the average value for this is 500 mil. Again, look at the units of measurement we're actually looking at. Finally, minute ventilation. This is the key. Okay, this is kind of like the most important because these two here equal minute ventilation. Minute ventilation is a volume of air inspired or expired per minute. Now, I mean, it's in the title of what the actual thing is, isn't it? Minute ventilation, i.e., volume of air inspired per minute, and that's what your focus is going to be on. In an exam question, you might get some sort of like interpretation question based on minute ventilation, and they might show you a graph, and you're going to have to talk about minute ventilation. So the equation for minute ventilation, as I've just said, minute ventilation equals these two. So it's tidal volume times breathing frequency. So we know that an average value for tidal volume is 500 mil, and we know that the average value for breathing frequency is 12 breaths per minute. So do 500 mil, or 500 times 12 breaths per minute. So it's not beats per minute, it's breaths per minute, remember. And we get 6,000 mil. Now it's really important when you change this 6,000 mil into 6 litres per minute. Okay, so remember to change that. So that is how we work out our minute ventilation. Tidal volume times breathing frequency. And it's really important you get these units of measurement. So it's breaths per minute, not beats per minute, and it's millilitres. Okay, so as I said, in tomorrow's lesson, we are going to be focusing on these to get these down to make sure you understand these properly and get some good notes on them. Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.